What is the critic of the critique that you have of say Sam in your book Freedom Evolves? I'm mentioning this because he was just on the podcast, and we had a very long debate in which I asked him similar questions that I asked Robert Sapolsky, and I said, if there is no such thing as free will, then how can you blame somebody for, God forbid, killing your pet dog? And Robert said, he said literally, to my great shame and humiliation, I'd want them punished. So where do you come down on, say, crime and punishment in a world with the free will perspective that you adopt?
I think there's a definite role for punishment, and I've argued that, and think there's nothing antediluvian or anti-scientific about it, because free will isn't what Sapolsky thinks it is. I'm just astonished at how both Sam Harris and Robert Sapolsky and some other scientists have been, I think, conned really, into thinking that free will depends on indeterminism by some philosophers who have inflated free will beyond what it actually is. Free will isn't a metaphysical condition that you're blessed with or not. It's an achievement. And it's the achievement of mature self-control. You don't have it when you're a baby. You don't have it till you've reached adulthood, really. And so we don't hold you responsible for things until you're an adult, and we don't hold you responsible then if you don't have self-control. That's self-control is the key notion. And the thing about self-control that it amazes me that Sapolsky doesn't realize, this is one of the best ways of looking at evolution. Evolution begins with the simplest imaginable agents, single-celled agents. And then we get multicellular agents. And then we get multicellular agents that aren't, plants or fungi or coral polyps, but that move. And once you've got motion, you've got control. And in order to have control, you have to look ahead. And evolution has designed things that can look ahead. Before there was life, nothing could look ahead. Nothing at all in the whole universe could look ahead. Once you have look ahead, then you have the possibility of making choices based on what you see. Now, maybe what you see isn't what's going to happen, and then you may make choices that are bad. But over the long run, probabilistically, evolution lets replicate the agents that are the best at self-preservation, that duck the incoming bricks and that find the food before they starve, that find mates, and so forth. I haven't said anything controversial. That's textbook ho-hum. That's right. That's how evolution works. But it makes things that do things for reasons. And once you have things that do things for reasons, you're on the way to free will. I wouldn't say that an octopus or a clam or even a crocodile have reasons that they understand. They don't have to, but they still do things for reasons. Trees do things for reasons. Trees don't have to understand the reasons they do the things they do, but they do things for reasons. That's a theme in my book, From Bacteria to Bach and Back. There's competence without comprehension. We're the one species that so far evolved that doesn't just do things for reasons, but represents reasons to ourselves and argues about reasons and tries to reason others into behaving better and so forth. And this creates the social contract. It creates the environment for civilization where we can judge that some of our fellow human beings have reached the age of reason. They can be reasoned with. And we can trust them. They're safe. We can let them run free. in a way we don't let lions run free or bears run free or small children. And once you're capable of listening to reasons and being moved by reasons, as Kant put it, then you can have freedom. It has nothing, notice I haven't mentioned the word determinism. It has nothing to do with determinism. Determinism and free will are completely disjoint categories. There's no implication one way or the other between them.
When I mentioned to both of them, I hear a lot of people, as you know, will deny the existence of free will, and I mean that's a title essentially of books by those authors. And I say, have you ever met somebody, Dan? I say, have you met somebody who behaved as if they don't have free will? That's not a psychopath, and they can never say, yeah. I mean, nobody behaves like they have no free will.
The way you would behave if you had no free will is you'd sit there like a tree and just take your lumps and not think ahead. And it's possible to talk people out of their free will, because if you've got free will, you can be moved by reasons, and you can be moved by reasons good and bad. And so that's why I think books like Sapolsky's and Sand's are actually a little bit socially destructive. They're acts of high-class social vandalism in that they weaken our conviction, our perfectly naturalistic conviction that we are what we obviously are.